Hello guys, it's me, Mighty the Armadillo here once again, and I am back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos once again. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario Party 5 for the Nintendo GameCube. So yesterday we have managed able to tackle through the forms of the bonus mode, despite the fact that I somehow managed able to actually lost 3 games modes in the forms of bonus mode, sadly, mainly due to luck-based element and card party, but I did have a really good time at it. And also I'm not doing that great in ice hockey, and I'm sure enough a soccer player when it comes to beach volleyball, in this case a similar game as in Beach Volley Frolly from Mario Party 4. But that's not the same that I'm going to be discussing for that point right there, because today, for this point, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the final video for Mario Party 5, meaning that we can show off some, not so much too many extras in this, but at least at the same time though, much like in Mario Party 4, and as well as the forms of Mario Party 3, we're able to show off the final minigame in the entire game, and also we'll show off the other modes that will probably show us by then, and eventually we'll try to show you guys the credit sequence. So either way though, and let's hop right into free play one last time, and because of that we're going to be hit on to the story category, in this case Frightmare. And this can be unlocked, as I said, we have to able to complete story mode for the first time. And right from the bat though, you can actually have a choice between 3 different difficulties. There is easy mode, normal, or hard mode. For me, I'm going to be going for hard mode because I'm up for the challenge, and also because, well, you see why in just a moment, so... Welcome to my most terrible stage of terror ever. First, let's see how you deal with these. So much like in the forms of the final battle in Mario Party 4, you do have multiple phases, and including the forms of Stardust Battle from Mario Party 3, you do have multiple phases. Except this time, that unlike in Mario Party 3, you do only have like 3 phases, and then in Mario Party 4, I believe you only get like 5 phases. And then in here, there are 4 phases this time around. Like the first phase, all you have to do is basically you have to clear out all kinds of Mecha Koopas. Then when you've done so already, you can either jump on them or pick them up and throw at them. And then basically you have to be able to clear them out before the time runs out. Because if the time runs out, then you're gonna lose the minigame in the process. So yeah, this section is pretty easy though. Is there more? If that wasn't hot enough for you, here, take this. So yeah, the next section right here, or the next phase I should say, appears to be going through these little flame rings. Now, out of all the actual phases in this particular minigame, this is by far the hardest. Mainly because you have to deal with a lot of emphasis on timing and what have you, and also because if you couldn't tell already, this is on hard mode by the way, as opposed to easy or normal, meaning I've actually got myself different amount of hearts, depending on what difficulties you select. Like, I believe if you manage to select this minigame as in easy difficulty, you do have 10 health, and then I believe normal gives you like 9 or something, and then on hard mode gives you 8, so... grr, that's it. Let's see how do you against me. Oh, it looks like Bowser is mad now, so I'll pound you into this crumbling floor, you weakling. Oh, we'll see about that then, mister. So anyways, here's the next phase. Taking a notice from Super Mario Bros. 3, for the final battle anyway, basically we need to let Bowser stomp onto any kind of floor tiles, like any kind of tiles as you leisure, for about 3 times, and then if you manage to able to let Bowser stomp on any kind of floor tiles like 3 times, like one I'm going to be focusing on right now, then you weren't able to actually end off the phase here. But here's the thing, much like in Mario Party 4, sometimes that Bowser would like to able to do all kinds of different attacks, like charging attack, flamethrower attack, and also just, well, anything to be more specific. So if you think you've done here, it's not over yet. Drat, you've made us this far. I guess the only thing I've got now is this. So long, runt. So he just drinks a lot of drink there, which actually causes Bowser to grow in size. Oh, this is going to be interesting right there. And of course, much like Mario Party 5, that he does have his own health as well, so Huh? Ugh. What are you waiting for? I'm helpless. So yeah, here we go on to the final phase of Frightmare, and as you can tell, in order to deal the damage on Bowser on this last phase, is that you know these little orbs that you can see right there? Well, you can't attack him normally when it's all burned. So instead, we have to wait until when he decides to able to use the flamethrower attack at you, and then basically when he just manages to do it on any kinds of orbs, and then when the actual orbs are glowing, then it's your chance to able to actually toss the glowing orbs and then it's just trying to attack him. And you have to do this like 5 times by the way, and then that way it deals the damage. The only tricky part about this is though, is the fact that if you try to able to pick these up, sometimes Bowser will able to send the actual shocking wave projectile at you, so you have to time yourselves perfectly, because otherwise if you don't time it well enough, then you're probably going to lose that particular orb to able to use as your projectile, and you're probably not going to get a chance to attack him. So, yeah, relatively an easy fight, even though the only hardest part about this minigame for me, though, is the fire loops, or the fire hoops section, because I can for the life of me never actually get this on the first attempt for able to not get hit just once, which I honestly think that was the hardest part about that fight. But apart from those side things though, yeah, this boss fight is not that much of a challenge. Well, unlike the ones of how it does it in Mario Party 7 though, oh man, I'm sure that some toys else will mention more about it whenever we get on to Mario Party 7 at some point next year. Although, not this year though, because obviously that we've almost done with the series up to this point, to able to catch up to the forms of the series by that point. So, at least especially noticeable with a much more better quality, and you probably name the rest. So either way though, let's just deal with this last blow, and boom, he's toast. Although, that since he was going to be still huge and everything, that means, well, he might as well able to get sucked into this particular, well, vortex of space or something like that. Or just mainly specifically just a portal itself. And there goes Bowser. And yeah, just like in Mario Party 4, is the fact that you weren't able to actually hear that special theme if you managed to able to beat the final boss in the game. So, yeah, that's pretty much about it in terms of Frightmare. And, I suppose the next extra thing we'll show off is the forms of the option room. So because of that, even though there's not much else I can usually try to talk about the option menu, or the option mode I should say, it's to be more specifically, it's like a standard stuff basically. So either way though, well at least we can able to show off the forms of Kalma, which is basically, it's like it based off from that specific star spirit from the likes of Chapter 7, from the likes of the original Paper Mario game. So because of that, when you're trying to deal with the forms of the Crystal King, so yeah, that pretty much sums up from there. So yeah, for options mode, it's pretty much the standard stuff for the most part. You can able to actually just to check out several mini games listed due to the packs and all that stuff, like All Pack, Easy Pack, Action Pack, Skill Pack, and also say applies to Goofy Pack. So because of that, yeah, you can able to actually look up on some of these mini games you might able to fancy checking out, and some of these mini games that you might able to be curiously well, just look at it and all that stuff. So either way though, I have no words to able to talk about, because either way, you pretty much guarantee it's like a checklist of any sorts to see what mini games have you unlocked yet or not unlocked yet. So either way though, things get a little bit more of a relative at that point. I will say is the fact that the visual style on this option mode, or the options mode, is actually pretty aesthetically pleasing to look at. It's almost like you ended up on the Silas system, which even then though, it does look pretty impressive for its time. So anyway, and also much like in Mario Party 4, is that you can either turn on the GameCube Rumble feature turned on or turned off, even though it might be pretty much situational if you really want to play through several other Rumble-based minigames like Rumble Fumble, Rumble Ready, and you name the rest. And also, much like in Mario Party 1 and Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3 and 4, basically, whenever you get into the sound menu, is the fact that you can able to actually just well, change the actual audio speakers to like stereo and also mono, and you can now able to actually select surround. So because of that, way you can able to actually get yourselves a pretty good audio speakers. So either way, and also much like the previous games, is the fact that you can once again listen to some of these pretty good music selection. Like for instance, you can able to hear the board music, and also say applies to the mini games music, and also say applies to those character voices. So because of that, now remember the forms of Mario Party 4 that as far as what Tiana has already mentioned about the fact that Peach actually said, "Though I missed." Well, apparently in Mario Party 5, that will make a return. Like, if I was gonna find that somewhere, in fact, it was actually on here. Well, not that.
Oh, I missed.
Well, I called it, because yes, though I missed does make an existence in this game as well. So, either way though, there's not much else to say about this for the most part. So, either way though. Yeah, I'm afraid this will actually be the last time we're going to be able to be hearing "though I missed" kind of line. Especially noticeable in Mario Party 6 and 7, because otherwise it's been replaced by, well, new kinds of voice clips. So either way though, you probably expect it by that point. And yep, Toad is awesome indeed. And of course, since this is Mario Party 5, the English version of the game, I'm afraid to tell you is the fact that with these announcers right here, like, you know, with start, finish, and new record, and draw and such, like here.
New record!
Wow, for that particular tone voice, this is actually the final time we're going to be hearing that particular minigame announcer, sadly. Although, not so much in Japan though, because in the Japanese release of Mario Party 6 and 7, still retains that, that particular voiceover from that minigame announcer, so, at least that's that at least. And also, much like in Mario Party, well, Mario Party 2, 3, and 4, you can able to check out the forms of the minigame records that you've actually accomplished with, and even there's also the forms of the two other variants of Peace Out, which is basically like 3 minutes and 5 minutes, so yeah, that's that. And also, much like the previous games, you can actually check out the forms of how many times you play certain boards throughout. I think I actually did manage to play, Pirate Dream the most, especially noticeable because that board was actually overall my favorite board in the entire game. But that's how it goes basically. So either way though, to see if how many characters who have won in certain boards and all that stuff. So yeah, you probably expect it by that point. So either way though, and I'm pretty sure I've also played Toy Dream 5 times as well, as far as I recall correctly. But either way though, it knows where it stands. However though, the computer players watching kind of stuff does not count at all, so because of that you have to be involved while playing through the boards themselves. So, and next of all we'll show off is the story mode records, which basically there was only 7 playable characters on there, which I've already established that since in that mode. And basically what that represents is that, as you can see on these rankings, that as you notice I've actually got 2 stars for Mario's playthrough. Meaning that I actually got ourselves some pretty good rankings like 3 Bs, 1A, and 1S. So even then though, that if you managed able to get like 5 stars, then you would be able to actually accomplish that. But it's just for curiosity's sake. So either way though, yeah, that's that. And of course, you can able to also double check on the records on minigame Decathlon, and as you can tell that I managed able to go into first place, because compared to the other 2 right here, like I usually play as Toad the whole way through, basically those particular run-throughs wasn't exactly all that great, especially with Leaf Leap right here, mainly it's because of how the fact that sometimes you have to memorize it so hard by able to actually just to, you know, jumping from leaf to leaf basically. So at least these scores are decent, but the ones in my Let's Play though, you know, with 7,051, I think it's almost perfect. Well, somewhat great nonetheless, but either way though, that's besides the point. And lastly, we'll show off is the Super Duel records, which at the moment we haven't played that particular mode, mainly it's because of how the fact that I'm used to playing the, well, tournament mode, as you guys should know. So either way though, yeah, that's pretty much about it in terms of the options mode, so pretty standard stuff basically. So either way though, and I suppose that's pretty much about it in terms of Mario Party 5 has to offer. And excuse me, Before we get into my final thoughts on it for this game though, much like in Mario Party 4, I basically got able to show you guys the staff credit sequence once well, again, in order to able to see the staff credits in this game, you have to go through the story mode first, and then basically that's how you see the credits, as you can see. I gotta say, the credit sequence does look pretty amazing, at least. So, either way though, that's besides the point, and also shows us the forms of how how the Mario and his friends and all that stuff have their great times on certain dreams and all that stuff. So yeah, let's get to my final thoughts of Mario Party 5, of how do I think compared to the forms of the first game, the second game, the third game, and the fourth game. It's an alright installment. I mean, not the best Mario Party installment. I mean, usually, despite this is actually my first ever Mario Party game I've ever played. But regardless of everything else though, there are some good portions of the game. Like, for instance, I feel like the party boards portion does feel aesthetically pleasing this time around, because you no longer need to worry about trying to able to walk onto this little plank or something like that, or some sort of like a boring walk pathway or something like that, because we're now actually exploring the entire nature of the board this time around, which is impressive. And the graphics in this game, well, pretty standard stuff, very similar to the forms of Mario Party 4, but at least nothing changes about it. And the gameplay, solid enough as it is, even though usually at this point in time is the fact that this will be the last time we're able to actually see a traditional Mario Party game that usually, well, goes up to that point. Well, it's kind of hard to explain, but it wasn't until whenever we get on to Mario Party 6 that the objectives were able to actually come into play. Well, at least whenever we get into that at some point in early September by that point. So, yeah, the story in this game, well, at least if you ever played the story mode of the game, pretty standard stuff. Stop Bowser and Mini Bowser to take over the Dream D-Pod, and that's all you have to do, just stop them. So, nothing special from here. Controls-wise, pretty solid for the most part, and yeah, that's pretty much how I usually think about it. And I'm gonna say, the soundtrack in this game is, well, almost perfection in almost every way. I mean, usually, relatively speaking, because of my nostalgia memory, and although there are some mini-games that are pretty good for sure, but it also features some of the worst of series has ever had, including my least favorite mini-game of all time is, of course, Get a Rope. And also that this game does have, hands down, the best side modes in the entire Mario Party games. Mainly due to the fact that with Card Party and just the amount of content you get is like staggering. So, overall, I think this game is actually pretty alright. Even though it might actually be the weakest in terms of the GameCube Mario Party games, even though despite the forms of the capsule system and all that stuff. Speaking of negatives though, there are a few negatives I can think of is that sometimes the capsule system can be a bit random at times and chaotic. And also, as I mentioned this before, is that some of these minigames are cool enough, but also features some of the worst of series in this game, like button mashers, why did that minigame exist, and heck, don't even get me started on too many emphasis on luck-based minigames, but aside from that, yeah, I found that game alright. So yeah, that was it for Mario Party 5. So yeah, at this point in time, it's the fact that we're actually on the halfway point in the GameCube Mario Party game. So join us next time for more of Mario Party Marathon of Let's Plays. Up next, it will be Mario Party 6. So that should be pretty interesting to say the least. So this is me, Mighty, here. And until then, I'll meet you guys out. Bye.